Good evening. Welcome back to the God of Knicks podcast. I'm your host, Apollo Reed. I'm here with my brother, Andre Jalil, of course. And we
Come
got,
on, man. It's your show. How you late to the party?
you know how we do this, man. Some things came up. Like I said, my phone is in Rice right now. We already had this
Why I can't hear?
conversation. You know what I'm saying? You good, State? Oh, well, State will be back. But like I said, myself, Andre Jalil, State will be back. And we here talking about off season. And a lot of the talk that's been going on is about the off season. And I know there's a State's been going back and forth with a lot of people on Twitter as per usual. You know what I'm saying? Letting his thoughts be known. But yeah, we're gonna kick it off, of course, with who's untouchable. And I know that it's this with the two of y'all. I'm gonna have left and right field. So I'm gonna let Dre go first. Go ahead, Dre. Who's untouchable in your opinion?
I don't know if anybody is really untouchable.
That's a great answer.
I don't think, like if we got, this just for argument's sake, if we
Right.
got Damian Lillard, whoever we traded for him, it'd be like, all right, you know, I
Right.
don't, I don't know who's untouchable. I feel like to get the right pieces to move this team in the right direction to be competitive in the
Mm-hmm.
Eastern Conference or to compete with the Western Conference team. I think that like nobody's untouchable. I like these kids.
Mm-hmm.
They're not untouchable. I mean, I don't want them to touch it. I don't want them touching OB. I don't want them touching
Quickly.
quickly.
Mhm.
Yeah, I Julius. I think is touchable. He did his thing. He showed us who he was in the playoffs. Maybe he need another year. Maybe this one settle in and he'd be like, all right, the playoffs is when it really starts.
Mm-hmm. Maybe.
But I don't think anybody's untouchable. How about you, State?
For me, uh, I can't. I'm gonna start off with quickly. Quickly untouchable for me. You cannot. How can I put this? Guards who's like quickly is hard to come by. Guards who already got the confidence, who already could space the floor the way he does. His shooting, I think he shot. What he shot from free throw percentage about 90% most of the year.
At one point,
Um,
he was above 90%.
Yeah.
yeah, and he was shooting damn near 40% from three. And he got a skill set that's hard to find in guards now. In today's NBA, you need a guard who can shoot.
If
And go ahead.
if you think about it, if you look at Trey Young game, quickly is very similar to that. He's just bigger. And the way he took that team deep into the playoffs, if quickly was like his starting point guard, I mean he's a rookie, but just like this is what was it, Trey Young like third, fourth season or something like that. And
Mm-hmm.
he's carrying that team.
Yeah.
So I agree. I think that quickly is that kid like I'd be disappointed if they moved that kid or touched him. But yeah, like you said, that skill set he has, like if he goes deeper in his bag and he gets this off season, that boy, he could be really dangerous.
Right.
And
He could be
and,
really
and
dangerous.
he's only 20. What's quickly 22 now?
22. I
Quickly only
believe.
22, young.
Is he?
He got
Mm-hmm.
he got the skill set. That's him and RJ. Like RJ, I don't even need to speak about why he's untouchable. Like plain and simple, the last big that was a Finals MVP was 10 years ago. That was Dirk Nowitzki. The last big that was the best player on a championship team was 10 years ago. All of the teams that's in the playoffs who got bigs as their best players was knocked out early.
Mm-hmm.
And you need wings to win championships. And also, point noted,
So wait a minute. So RJ is gonna be that wing that's gonna help you get your championship.
you damn right he is. We drafted him third for him to be a spot up shooter, brother. We
All
ain't
right.
draft him third to be a spot up shooter, brother.
So wait.
we
So hold up. RJ, he the two or the three of this team right now.
What you mean?
RJ, he was the two or he was the three.
This season,
Yeah.
he played mostly the two, but you could switch him at the two or the three. But you would need a guy like Reggie Bullock, who Reggie Bullock's size. I think Bullock was like 6'8", 6'7", 6'8", and you need a guy who's interchangeable.
So you saying
So,
forward thinking that RJ is going to be that guy that's going to get you to a championship?
whew, damn, you put me on the spot. Um, yeah, but it ain't nothing wrong with RJ being Green Lantern and he's next to Superman. If you understand what I'm saying, like there's nothing wrong with that. I know that we got a productive future All Star. I'm not gonna say he's the one option yet until I see some handle, but he's a guy you cannot move off a wing that young, that early in his career, and he could play here. It's dumb. It's mad hard to play in New York. You see my Kevin Knox video on Twitter, Apollo, and
No, I
people
didn't.
killing Knox. People is killing him. But you got others who want to see Knox produce. And I be telling people all the time, like, I wish I could just take RJ mindset and just mash it into Kevin Knox's body.
Mm-hmm.
That's another reason why I think RJ gonna be good. What about you, Apollo?
Well, yeah, it's over for my phone. Yeah, it's over. It's over. It just really went over. My bad. Yeah. So when it comes to um this team and who's untouchable, um, you already know RJ's my guy. Dre already know that was coming. Um, and the reason why I wouldn't say he's untouchable. First of all, untouchable is based off of what your team's goal is. You know what I mean? So if your team's goal is long term, let's build and development, guys like RJ, quickly, Obi are untouchable
Mm-hmm.
for that model. But if you're trying to win now, which it seems to be the mindset with these guys, um, guys like quickly, Obi, and even RJ are tradable. You know what I mean? They're not untouchable. Um, Me personally, the reason why I don't consider RJ someone I would trade out of everyone um, is because first of all, if we're talking about quickly and Obi, people talk about this Shea Gilgis Alexander possibility of a trade there, who's nice and trade Shea's nice. You know what I mean? There's no doubt about it. And we were asked, would you trade our first two picks this year, 19 and 21? We talked about it was you myself and Eru from Die Hard Knicks. Shout out to
Mm-hmm.
Eru, by the way. Would you trade your first two picks, 19 and 21, uh, and Obi and quickly for Shea? And I think all three of us said, yeah, I'd do it. You know what I'm saying? And it's I don't want to get tied too much to these guys. I like these guys, but when we're talking about a talent like that, you kind of don't really want to pass that opportunity up because you can do that and add to your core and still develop. You know what I mean? And now you have the point guard of your future, what you've been looking for. You show up that in a trade, and you still have off season cap room to make a move and all and in free agency. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I mean. In that sense, I wouldn't trade RJ. But my thing with RJ is you don't find a lot of wings that are as versatile on both sides of the floor as RJ at that young of an age. He's 21 and he hasn't shown us a lot right now. But there's not a lot of wings in the league that give you what RJ is going to give you on a given basis, especially at 21 years of age. You know what I'm saying? So, but like I said, it depends on what your goal is, and I don't know what this this front office goal is, and I think that's the biggest thing. Nobody knows
Yo,
what the goal
Apollo.
is.
So I'm gonna ask y'all both this question. So in the past, we always see the Knicks, and they always leak mad stuff. They'll leak, the Knicks is looking at this, that, and third.
Mhm.
Yo, bro, it's been no leaks,
Quiet ever
none.
since Leon got on board. Yep.
Why? Why do you think there hasn't been any leaks?
Well, Leon don't play that shit. Simple as that. I think it's that simple, and that's why guys like Mark Berman and Isola don't really like him because he makes sure that these guys don't get the little bits and pieces that they're used to getting. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? He makes sure that his circle is tight. He makes sure that nobody knows exactly what's going on. Whatever they put out there, they put out there. You know what I'm saying? And it's them. But I think that's what it is, and I think that's right up Dolan's alley. You know what I mean? And Dolan always was the kind of person who wanted to keep things quiet and behind closed doors. But a lot of the people that worked for him, had a different mindset. But now you got Leon, World Wide West, and guys that have known each other for their entire careers working with each other. Yeah, you're
20
not going to
plus
get much
years.
news. Yeah, you're not going to get a lot of news and sound bites coming out of those guys.
I love it. From what I hear, it sounds like these guys, the Knicks are like running through all their options. Like they're
Hmm.
checking everything out. What I love about a season like this, I've always loved when teams win that's not supposed to win. So,
Hmm.
for the Suns or the Bucks, like I wouldn't care. Of course, Chris Paul, but that whole Chris Paul thing, like I always said, I'm like if that dude win, that's out of he's staying right there in Phoenix, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And he wanted to be
Mm-hmm.
out there. They said he has types of relationships, but things that unfold like the Clippers losing. Now you got Chris. Now you got Paul George out there. Now you got Kawhi, and they talk about where these cats might go. People are unhappy. Either way, I think the Knicks are weighing all the options from all these other teams that are supposed to take it. The Nets are supposed to win the whole thing. They get bumped. Now they saying Kyrie is on the Nets were unhappy with Kyrie that midseason absence and all of
Mm.
that stuff. And I'm just like, I feel
Mm.
like the Knicks probably got like 20 different scenarios.
Yeah.
I feel like they
Honestly,
probably got like 20 different joints. And for them to leak it, there's so many different things happening. For them to leak right now, it would be silly because it could go anywhere. They talk about Damon Lillard. Now I saw the Shea Gilgis Alexander joint. I looked up the videos on him because I thought the kid was nice. I don't know if he's the point guard the Knicks as they look now would need. Like when you guys talk about
mhm.
RJ, I just think the one thing that RJ needs for me to be convinced about RJ back because I'm not convinced in RJ as a creator,
Yeah.
but if RJ got that point guard, like if he had that CP3, that would be like the unlock for him right
Right.
there. That dude.
Yeah.
I mean, if he's hitting his shots,
Yeah. I
but
mean, for sure. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know what I mean. But yeah. So, but the CP3 starting to look slim now. I don't see him winning the chip because I believe the Suns are gonna take it. But if he wins a chip, I don't see him leaving. Not that the Knicks to win or go far, I don't think we need CP3 per se.
But somebody
But,
like him,
but we need that point guard. And
Yeah.
my favorite move would be the ball trade or however that would happen.
Lonzo Ball.
Yeah,
Lonzo. Yo,
yeah, at the
I would
point
love
guard.
Lonzo.
But of course the bar is low for the Knicks because we had a bum running the point guard start.
Yeah. My only concern with Lonzo, of course, and I spoke about it with these guys before, is the fact that Lonzo, he doesn't attack the basket a lot, and when he does, he doesn't finish well. And I think that's something that watching Alfred Payton, the thing that frustrated us the most was the fact that he could get to the basket whenever he wanted to, but he couldn't finish. You know what I mean? And at least he could get to the basket. You know what I mean? And I don't see a lot of scenarios where Alonzo's breaking anybody down off the dribble and getting to the basket and finishing. You know what I mean? And I think if he does do that, it's few and far between. He's more of the point guard who's going to run your offense. Um,
Right, which I think would that's what I think would benefit RJ Barrett.
yeah,
But
yeah. Like there's things that
that's how the
that
team
Lonzo
looks.
does do that would benefit us. You know what I
Right,
mean?
because
So
we've seen plenty of games
it'll be
where,
a game.
what's the name was freezing RJ Barrett. RJ
Yeah,
get
Yo,
he'd warm up, he'd be getting hot, and they freezing him out, not passing him the rock. Like he's scared to give it to him.
a lot of things that we RJ also I was listening to Macri and Knicks Film School. They were talking about the fact that I think it was Jeremy Cohen. I think Jeremy he said it. He that they missed RJ missed Mitchell the most. You know what I mean? More than anybody else because
Mm.
with Mitchell there, it gave him a lot of opportunities for drives and alley oops and stuff that Nerlens number one wasn't catching if he was running that and didn't have they just didn't have the chemistry that him and Mitch had.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot went into what we saw to RJ. You know what I mean? Like I said, a lot of it is no excuse. We saw um someone was so Team Canada got eliminated from the qualifier. I think they played against the Czech Republic and they lost by 2 or 3. I think 2 in
How
Think
he
overtime.
so.
do?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
stupid back off the backboard shot over Lou Dort.
Overtime. Crazy, crazy. But RJ Barrett looked pretty well, in my opinion. There was, some things that we saw during the season, but it's only been 3 weeks. He didn't really have a lot of time to work on a lot, but he did show improvement in a few areas. Number one is he clearly looked like the best player on that team, or if not the best player, the leader. He looked like the guy that they were looking to run the offense through. There
Yes.
was a lot of
So
options.
Canada's out.
Doubt.
Yeah, yeah, they're out, bro.
That's wild. You
They're
don't
out.
get to see RJ play now.
Yeah, I mean and that's what they were saying. Somebody said 8 NBA players, the most out of all Olympic teams.
And
Uh,
they get shut out.
and they got shut out. And he said this is why RJ is trash because he's not a leader. And I'm like, number one, he's 21, and people fail to remember that. I think when he was 18, I think he dropped like I forgot what he did. He dropped a lot of
Dropped
a lot of
38.
points. 30,
38.
38 against Team USA, and
Yep.
then they won gold.
Yep.
But, it's just people. Like I said, it's just narratives. But at the end of the day, RJ looked pretty well. He showed us a few things like some step backs, um, things that we wanted to see, some more creation off the dribble. You know what I mean? And that was the biggest thing with us is you know, when especially we saw in the playoffs when you give him the ball and it was like, all right, well, if it's not a pick and roll and doesn't have the left hand to the basket, it's kind of like, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? And that's what we want to see. We want to see that at least that in between games. You know what I'm saying? And he was able to do a lot of that, and it showed. In the what do you call it? The Olympics for Team Canada. So
Bro, you gotta mention him using his right hand. It's another thing I
yes.
noticed.
Hmm.
And he has a couple of ISO moves now. He got like 2, 3 ISO moves. And he attempted pull-up threes on fast breaks.
He did, and he
That's,
he he hit. I think he hit like 1 or 2 of them. And I was like,
mm-hmm.
okay, that's what I want to see. The confidence is like less about at this point. I want to see less of the. I'm not going to see a lot of the consistency at this point because he's still training. You know what I'm saying? It's only like I said, it's only been 2 3 weeks. So
That's why if they'd have made it, that would have been that. That's some good running for him to get for this
that's
Shit,
good.
I
whole
wanted him to make
Yeah,
it so bad,
yeah,
bro.
man. That was good. I mean, but it was 3 games. He practiced with them with Team Canada. He ran with some
Who
other
else was on the
NBA players.
squad though?
Wiggins,
Wiggins,
Lou
Trey
Dort.
Lyles, Lou
Oh, that.
Dort. And even with Wiggins on the squad, it was like they were going to RJ. You know what I'm saying? Like and running sets through him, it was easier to do because I think he's better off the dribble than in terms of playmaking
Yep.
than Wiggins a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But Wiggins is a better shooter and a little bit more athletic. But I mean, I think a lot of it is up here. You know what I mean? That's what I've always loved about RJ the most is not really about what I'm seeing on the floor just yet. I know what he's going to be at some point because of the amount of work that he's going to put in, which is kind of why I don't want to just throw him in a trade, for Damian Lillard, and then we got Lillard and Randall, and then where are we going with that?
Let me give you the starting five when you trade for Lillard, please, so we can laugh at it. I just want to say it out loud, so like we can really laugh at this starting five because people think we could win with this starting five. So we traded for Lillard, right?
Right.
So now your starting five is Lillard. Who else? You just throw somebody random in there. Who? Norman Powell? That's your shooting guard? Norman Powell, Kelly Oubre or Bullock with Randall and Nerlens Noel.
It's Mitchell Robinson though. Oh, you saying they would trade Mitchell?
You'd have to trade him.
You would have to trade him. And this is the starting five that people
They ain't
want to
starting.
watch.
No. They ain't starting with Nerlens Noel. They'd have to go get somebody.
Who are you going to get?
I don't know, but you can't start with Nerlens though.
Man, but that's the starting five that people want. That's what they want to see. That's what they want to see. They want to see a starting five.
I honestly, this is how I feel. I don't know
Mhm.
why. I think either the Knicks are going to do it super big or they just going to keep it simple. I think they're going to run up and get like a nice like we already got this kid Luca. What if they keep it there? What if they keep it there and we get let's say Norman Powell, like you just mentioned, at the 3.
Mhm.
I'm good.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like if the Knicks do that, we got Mitch at the 5. You know what I mean? Like the team is a lot better. I mean, and it's unfair to say because we see what Luka's done, but he already looks like we already know he's better than Alfred Payton because anybody could be. You understand what I'm saying?
So
But
let me
now,
ask you a question.
if, go
Let
ahead.
me ask you a question. You really think a Damian Lillard, Julius Randle led team is beating the Nets? You really think that?
I'm not the team you just laid out.
But that's the team you're gonna have to
I
have
don't think
because
that they're gonna get this dude and then keep the rest of the team looking like that. That's what I'm saying. I feel like if the Knicks gonna do it, I think they're gonna do it big. If they get a Damon Lillard, they're gonna pull something out the hat. It ain't gonna look like that. That's not the squad.
the Dame makes so wait, hold on. So we could put context on this.
I mean, the Knicks got a lot. I think that the Knicks is one of the top teams with the most amount of money.
Bro, after you get that 45 million,
I don't know if they're doing that. I hope they don't do that. I hope they don't do that. I just hope they
bro,
don't do that because I just feel like he is who he is. You know who we got with him.
Who?
That would be
Dame?
fun. It would be dope. I would love to have him here, but we got to have like a real squad. And this is what I was about to say about who's winning. I remember when Detroit won when they had Chauncey Billups, who, by the way, all of a sudden he gets a head coaching job, and now they're talking about a 1997 rape case or sexual assault case.
you know how that go,
Yo,
bro.
like he got the head
You know
coaching
how
job.
that go.
Yo, it's unreal. But Chauncey Billups and them, and they won that championship. I love that team because it was like no stars. You know what I'm saying? Like I like that, and I just feel like the Knicks could possibly be that team if they keep it close. Based on how far we just went, we almost got two wins against the team that just almost won the Eastern Conference finals.
True.
And I don't know how the Hawks went that far, but boy, they took it. Right? But so I just feel like a couple changes, and this team could be really dope. If we maintain Obi, we maintain quickly, we keep Rose off the bench. I feel like the team could get like a real nice thing going. With a
Let me
couple, I just think the 1 and the 3 and potentially the 5.
so
But getting
let me shoot
Damian,
y'all a
it's
question.
like it's a whole new team if you get Damian Lillard. Like I don't know why that would work for Damian because his squad now is better than if he came to New York with that squad. Like what would be the point? Like you said, no, we would not be beating the Nets.
So
Right.
our just the RJ thing, right?
Yeah.
What position do y'all view RJ moving forward? Because I think that's a question that needs to be answered, and then I felt like everything else will fall into place.
I think he needs to be a 3. He's too slow to be a 2. He's not
Yeah.
good enough a shooter to be a 2.
Hmm.
Not right now.
I
You know,
think, like I said the other day, to me, I think it depends on who you bring in, depending on the wing you bring in. If you bring in a scoring 2, you have to push RJ to the 3,
right? If we
which makes
get
him better.
Beal, you got to push RJ to the 3.
Right, right. But if you get an Andrew Wiggins type of wing,
Please don't get Andrew Wiggins.
I'm just saying. Well,
Yo,
listen, no, don't get him
Apollo,
started.
he ain't
Don't get
watched
him
the
started. Don't get
Olympics,
him
bro.
started. Don't get him started.
He ain't
Don't get him
watched the
started.
Olympics,
So he
bro.
was tearing it up.
Bro.
Who was he tearing it up? The Czech Republic, though.
bro,
Czech Republic.
bro, they was down 10 with a minute some left, and Wiggins and RJ turned into Tracy McGrady and T Mac, bro.
Yeah, two
I'm
different
not sold
versions of
on
T-Man.
Wiggins. I'm sorry. I'm not. Hey, you know why? I got it to be one of the things that we've seen this year. The regular season and the playoffs is two completely different seasons.
Yeah.
Wiggins and RJ right now both have that thing where they're not showing up in these games. Wiggins keeps having these. That it's like the inconsistency. Yeah, I know the East is easier, but so what? You get to the playoffs, and you know what I'm saying. Like you said, you got to beat the Nets. You got to beat the 76ers.
Yeah, and I disagree with his take too. Steven Tone, the East is not easy. It's gonna be harder next season.
Right? Yeah, I mean, when you're playing Brooklyn and KD and
He's talking about
Kyrie,
Dame though. As Dame,
Damian's gonna eat anybody up. I don't care.
No. I'm saying no. Like if I'm Dame, in my mind,
He eating up the East.
I played against everybody, all the toughest players
He eating
that
up
has
the East.
walked through the NBA. Really, at this point, especially LeBron, because LeBron now played in the West, so he's played against LeBron, Steph, KD,
Russell,
Russ, James
uh,
Harden,
Paul George,
Paul George,
sent them
CP3.
home. Both of them.
You know what I'm saying? So then now you're gonna bring him to the Eastern Conference. I'm sure it's gonna be easier for him.
He's gonna be in the East like this.
Excuse me, right? But I mean, how far is that gonna go? Yeah, you know what I'm saying. It might get you to the final, but then you're gonna run into a juggernaut, and then you out in 5. We don't want that. You know what I'm saying?
But it
Because
all depends. Like I feel like here's what I just like I said. I feel like the Knicks got the kind of. I feel like they got the kind of front office where if they bring in Lillard, they bringing in like something, and they're not just gonna. The team's gonna look completely different.
well, that's what I'm saying. You would have to also trade Julius Randle to bring in Lillard and somebody else that's really going to change things.
They might make you happy and bring Melo back, Cat.
I mean, that's not gonna be it.
That's not working, bro. I'm sorry, bro.
All right,
They're
off
not
the
beating
bench.
the Bucks
Melo
next
off the
season.
bench. Come on, Cat.
So who's your
Oh,
starting
yeah,
small forward?
That's
I
fine.
don't know. I honestly don't know, man. If we get Lillard, RJ got to be the starting 3. You can't have Lillard and RJ at the 2. He got to be like the 3.
Well, like I said, it also depends on who you bring in.
Right. You know, we got if Mitch is our 5, if we somehow don't move Julius, which I don't think will work anyway.
What, moving him?
Yeah, no, I don't think Julius on the team with Damian will work.
Jay, you can't talk about trading, man.
Let me ask you a question. How confident are you in Julius Randle's ability to be the best player on a championship team?
No, I'm not confident at all.
Is it 0?
I think I'm 0.
That's not good. Because so this is my thing. If you're good enough to be the second best player on a championship team, you should at least have more than a 0%.
I don't even know if
outlook.
if he's good enough to be the second guy. I don't
Right,
want
and this is exactly how I want us to start thinking about it. How good is Julius Randle is the question.
He's as good as he performed in the playoffs this year.
Yo, I'm not saying nothing, yo.
Listen, I think there's a lot of nuances to that, but I think it's a bit of that, and I think it was, it was that his team surrounding. He didn't have the greatest work to.
Yo, Apollo, I don't want to hear that, yo.
Listen, no. This is what I'm gonna say.
Wait.
Because
you say he didn't have what?
He didn't have a lot. All right, now look.
You talking about Julius?
Who else outside of Julius was really somebody you can go to?
Derrick Rose.
I hear you.
That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm not blaming. I'm not
Yeah,
giving
but
him.
he also didn't drop 40 no night.
I'm not giving him an excuse. I'm just saying it's the nuances of that.
Joshua, he had that team all season though.
Bro, but listen. This is what I'm telling you. I already agree that he's.
Oh, okay. So you just want to play devil's advocate type.
Yeah, I'm just playing devil's advocate. I'm not putting it all on Randle, but he also froze. You know what I'm saying? Like
a motherfucker.
He choked. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna give him a pass off that. I do expect better from Randle because Randle's the kind of guy who he's the kind of work. He if he gets embarrassed, he gonna go back and he gonna come back like Jack. You know what I mean? He's one of those kind of dudes.
You see, but all that Jack stuff.
No, not just this. I'm just saying. And
okay,
I'm saying
right. You're saying he gonna come back and try to.
Yeah.
He gotta wait to the playoffs to do that.
Yo, Dre had enough.
What Julius Randle has to do is he has to become a better off-ball player.
You got to take the ball out of his hand. Him bringing the ball up is enough for that.
Well, this is what I'm saying. If he can, once you take the ball out of his hand, what is Julius Randle good at?
And so that's why I said he's not the 1 and he's not the 2.
He's the third option.
So
but Apollo, this
how
is something I
difficult
said
is
to
our
y'all months
now,
ago.
now, now how does this change our off season? Now, if we're thinking about this is what I'm saying, y'all. This is what I'm saying. Now, you see where I'm going. You see where I'm
I
going now.
see where you
Let me tell
going,
you
but this
something.
is
I want to keep Julius if we have a CP3. Like you said, it all depends on who we got.
Right. It
Because I don't
absolutely
see,
depends.
I feel like CP3 is a better floor general than Damon Lillard. But I feel like Damon Lillard is like a better overall athletic player. He could knock down a shot from half court. Not for nothing, but CP3 was doing this playoff season. He's been magical. That boy's been taking over games, the end of games and stuff like that, scoring when he needs to. Magical, that dude. He
And
don't
listen,
fit
I'm
that
not
team.
saying at all anybody that we should be trying to get rid of Randall.
But Damon
I'm just
Lillard is
saying
what
that
I'm saying. Damon
that
Lillard and this
changes.
dude is going to clash because
Right.
the problem with Julius is he thinks he's the star.
No.
Thank
I don't.
you.
Well, no. I'm
Thank
not.
you.
I'm not gonna do that. You know why I'm not gonna do that? Because
Why
I've
not?
yet.
Julius don't think he's the
No,
star.
listen. I've yet to see him on this team play with someone who's better than him. I've yet to see it.
Apollo,
I haven't seen it yet.
Apollo.
I haven't seen it
Apollo.
yet.
Time
I
out.
haven't
Let's go
seen
back.
him.
Let's
You
go back to
cannot
last
do
season.
that.
Let's go back to last season though.
Yes.
Who was the go-to guy?
It
last
wasn't.
season
Mook
before
was
he
our
got
best.
traded?
Mook was our best scorer, but he wasn't the go-to guy. He wasn't our
In
best
clutch
all-around
time, he
player.
was.
He wasn't our best player, bro. Because
I'm not
we
saying
went
he was. He was our best clutch player. He was better than Julius.
right. Well, this is part of what I'm saying. I'm not saying that. What I mean is, until a star, someone who's certified better than Julius plays with him, I can't say that he can't play with a star because he definitely played alongside Anthony Davis. He did.
So what you're saying right now? You're saying that we should keep him so that because you were asking the question.
I'm not saying that either.
Hold on. You were asking the question if he's the one and he's the two. We said no. We both said zero.
Right.
He's not even the two.
No. I'm not saying. I'm saying 0 to the 1.
To
I'm
the
saying
one.
to being a 2, it depends on who your 1 is.
Nah.
If
He
your
couldn't
1
be
is,
my two.
listen, if your 1 is LeBron James, Julius Randle can be your 2.
LeBron James ain't even the one no more.
But what I'm saying is, if your 1 is Kevin Durant and then your 2 is Julius Randle and your 3 is Drew Holiday,
Durant just had
that's not
Harden and Kyrie as his 1 or 2,
but listen, look
No,
at a
as his
team.
2 and 3.
If you had Durant, Julius Randle, and somebody like I said, Drew Holiday, and with that team, you have more money to actually go get better pieces. You know what I'm saying? With that team, you can actually do something. And that in that case, Julius Randle is the second best player.
So you want Julius to be your 2.
I don't. Like I said, it depends on who your 1 is.
Yo, Paulo, you know why this is tough for me? Because we all labeled him the king of New York. We gave him this ego. You got Nick fans going crazy.
He did earn that though.
Trade him. He earned it.
During
But
the
when
season.
it's money time, hold on. I get just for context. So I'm hearing Dre. Randall played in the stadium with 2K fans, brother.
I don't know, too.
I don't want Bill and Randall. They're not winning no championships together. That is disgusting.
They're both 2 number 2s. We don't need 2 number 2s.
Bill is a number 2. Randall is a third. He's a third.
If Bill is in New York, he's number 1.
But we're not winning anything with him.
But what I'm saying is, like, on a championship team, Bill is not your best player. Bill can't be a best player.
But why not? He was another runner for the leading scorer of the season.
But Washington was bad, bro. It's bad.
So what?
Listen, no. Bill is not a superstar.
He was the leading scorer over Westbrook, though, on the same team with Westbrook.
But he's a better shooter than Westbrook. That's different. You know what I mean? Westbrook is a passer, clearly. He's more of a passer than he's a scorer. Like, listen, what I'm saying is, as a scorer, he's top notch. But outside of that, leader, doing all of the, you know what I mean, being the best player on the team kind of thing, like, I'm not gonna sit here and say that he's not a superstar.
Yo, Paulo, I'll be back in 10 minutes. Let me just go downstairs and get my work phone.
All right, no doubt.
All
right. I'm not gonna say that. What were we saying? What's his name? Bill. I'm not gonna say that he's not a superstar, but I'm not gonna put him on the level with Kevin Durant and, like, he's one
Bradley Beal.
Yeah,
Bradley Beal is dangerous than a motherfucker, though. All right, so all right, we got Luka at the 1. Let's say it like who we let's just put him there. Because if we get Bill, we've been losing a lot of pieces. But let's say we got Luca, we got Bill at the 2, and then you got RJ at the 3, and then Julius.
Right.
That's a way more dangerous squad than what we have right now.
Right.
Way more dangerous. And yeah, if we could get to the first round, we beat the Hawks 1 game, maybe 2 this season. You know what I'm saying? That's a much more dangerous squad. That's like a completely different team, just because we got Bill.
Mm-hmm.
And Bill would be the main guy. Julius would be the second guy, which would be fine because Julius was the second, third guy in the playoffs. Again, that boy, he failed in the playoffs. D Rose was the number 1 guy this playoff season, in the playoffs. D Rose was the number 1 guy. Tell me I'm wrong.
No, you're right about that. I'm just saying I can't make Bill my number 1 guy. With Randall as my number 2? Nah.
Unless RJ step up and he's your number 2 and Randall is your 3.
Which can happen, but I mean, if you're trading for Bill, you have to trade RJ.
But the problem, not necessarily, not if you have him as a 3, not if the Knicks are smart.
No, I'm saying, and that's what
the way they play.
That's what it will take to get Bill in terms of a trade.
Well, if Bill does some kind of thing and he says, "I'm not happy, get me out of here," maybe they might have to rush some things, and
we might have, depending on who we get in the draft.
But I'm not convinced if we lost RJ Barrett that would be the worst thing in the world if we got somebody like Bill.
Well, I don't think it'll be the worst thing in the world right away, but you got to think about it. If
he's gonna be nice in the future,
I'm only making the trade with RJ Barrett included is if that trade right there is going to lead to us winning a championship. Like if I don't see it in the cards, like it can't be the first move you make so that you can try to go get more pieces and make a championship. Like, nah.
What's your dream team look like for the Knicks? What the Knicks need to look like for you next year?
All right, so that's this is what we're gonna talk about. So my dream offseason move would include us. We talked about it. A lot of people don't like it, and I don't care that a lot of people don't like it
because what they think, boy, you cat.
Nah, I mean honestly, it's to be real. My thing is sign somebody in the offseason, get some veteran presence. I think we have some confidence in Vildoza. We're losing Alfred. Almost forgot his name, which I don't know if that's a bad thing, but we're losing Alfred, and I'm not sure if we're bringing back Frank. So we're going to have about 2 point guard spots. So you're going to have Vildoza. You got to have another point guard. And I think if you don't do that in the draft, you can also get in the draft and get someone, but you do need some veteran presence at the point guard position. I do think we bring back Derrick Rose, but for the bench. I don't want him
100%.
Starting.
That's where he should be.
Yeah, I don't want him starting. But when it comes to man. Yeah, man, I'm gonna stick with my guy. I'm running. If I can go get him, I know he might not want to play here.
Who?
Dinwiddie.
Oh man, yeah, I forgot about that. You see, he was like, "Yeah, I'm Ghost." Is he about to be restricted or?
He's unrestricted.
Unrestricted. Yeah, he said he didn't take that whatever the extension or whatever the case. But you already know how I feel about that. We get Dinwiddie.
Now, a lot of Knicks fans don't like Dinwiddie because of the way he talked trash about us being.
They won't talk trash. Whatever.
LeBron has talked trash about us, and we still was in the offseason begging for him. So I don't want to hear nothing about that. If we can get someone who can help us play basketball games, I want some dogs here who can play ball. And this is just who I think. Now, I'm not looking for the big splash at point guard because that's going to take too much of our number one. There's nobody as a big splash at the point guard position in this offseason. I think a lot of the point guards that we can get would be good moves. Lonzo, Lowry, in their own way. Even Dinwiddie. I don't think any of them are splashes. And I think that's fine because now, boom, you save money that way, which is the way we want to do it. We need guys who can play ball at their position, not only play ball at their position, but come on cheap contracts. You know what I'm saying? So, boom. Dinwiddie just came off of an injury. He's not gonna. He can't request that much money. You know what I mean? And even if he does up to 20, that's the most I'd go. It's like 19. I give you 19. I ain't gonna give you more than that. But hopefully we can get him around. Like if you could, in the dream scenario, 15, 16, maybe 17. Right now you have Dinwiddie at the point guard position. Like I said, it depends on who we sign at the wing. Thibodeau was talking about talking at the combine that they will be looking for a wing. So that's clearly a position of need for them. You know what I'm saying? That's what he said out loud. That
Yeah, they were looking at the tape with Reggie, and they was like,
can't do it. It's not gonna work. Not gonna work. Because like I said, when someone can limit you just by closing out and then you're gonna pass the ball up, that can't work in the playoffs. Cool off the bench. If you're gonna be the guy who's gonna be 3-and-D.
I like Reggie off the bench.
Yeah. If you're gonna be the 3-and-D guy off the bench, but you can't be starting in the playoffs if you can't hit a shot.
Those are the two main. Here's what again. Say this again. As far as the Knicks got this season with who we had, if we change that stuff, if we put Dinwiddie there at the 1 and whoever at the 3.
I came back to Dinwiddie, bro.
I don't hear him.
Look. Hey, yup.
What he said?
He said he came back to Dinwiddie. Listen, Knicks fans don't like hearing that name, but listen, man, I'm looking.
You don't like Dinwiddie?
I'm looking.
It's not even that. I literally have no beef with him. He's the prototypical point guard. I love tall guards. The only beef I got is that ACL, brother. I don't want nobody.
It was a
partial tear. I think they caught it early.
Jersey. It's just something about that Nick jersey that.
Listen, bro.
So look,
no big contract. No big contract.
You was going right. I was gonna say that's going to interfere with his money. So yeah. So D Rose tore his whole joint. Right. That dude was like He was the leading scorer in our playoffs off the bench. Well, they ended up starting him. You know what I'm saying? But the ACL thing, but it's so common now. Like everybody got one. KD just came back. Well, he had the Achilles. But everybody's tearing the ACL out here. I don't know what year it started. It just seemed like it never happened until one year. One person tore the ACL and everybody started tearing their joints. So it just seems like the way these teams, the way what is it? What's the staff? The training staff or whatever, how they got these cats bouncing back. You know, you look at what's not Bradley Beal. What's his name over there who was playing with Bradley Beal in Washington last year?
Who, Russ?
Russell Westbrook?
Nah, who was before?
John Wall.
John Wall came back after his joint looking regular. I'm like, damn, like.
Well, then he ended up out again at the end of the season.
Yeah, but John Wall tore his I think he tore his ACL, and I think he had something with his hip. I think he had hip surgery or something.
No, he tore his Achilles.
Oh yeah, he tore his ACL, then he tore his Achilles in his crib. He was probably messing with them strippers.
How you tear your Achilles at the crib?
Messing with them strippers.
Coming down the steps.
Bro, when I heard that, I was like, yo, son, this dude. John Wall. When I tell you John Wall was one of my favorite point guards coming, especially coming out of high school. That I think he had one of the best high school mixtapes, bro. Him and Austin Rivers, surprisingly. But John Wall's high school mixtape was ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? And he was just wild, 6'4", crossing everybody, dunking on everybody. You know, he had the shot at that range because it wasn't really 3-point range. But he was killing at that age.
Josh, what is everybody, your boy from Garden of Knicks podcast, what is everybody with this whole DeRozan thing?
No, I mean, I like DeRozan in a certain.
And Schroeder, I don't want to touch Schroeder.
I don't want Schroeder.
For what?
I mean, I don't know. Schroeder, I'm not really with. I'm not really with Schroeder.
Love names, man. People love names and just disregard how to build a team.
DeRozan already showed you what you're gonna get out of him. And then he went over to San Antonio, and you see what you're getting out of him. Nothing happening with him.
No. Listen.
I say this.
I take DeRozan as like this.
He was a way better playmaker. He upped his playmaking. DeMar DeRozan, like he literally was playing point guard for San Antonio.
Literally. He's your two. He can be a two. He can be a two.
You like him better than Bill?
No, I don't. Hell no, I don't like him better than Bill.
All right.
So I'm just saying different options. Because number one, You can get DeRozan way
And
cheaper
what
than
and
you
what
can
we
get
getting
Bill.
out of Schroeder? What we getting out of Schroeder?
I'm not. I'm good off Schroeder. I'm good
We
off
play
Schroeder.
off.
Me too.
We finals bound with Schroeder.
No. I'm good with Schroeder. I mean,
Yeah,
number
that
Yeah,
one,
shit done.
number one, because he's gonna ask for a lot of money. That's
Yep.
off rip. I'm good.
boy, he comes
Closing the
sit in
door,
that office. I'll be
hanging up the
across from
phone,
him. Like, how much you want?
bro. He's
X, Y,
not
and Z.
sitting in
Let's
my
talk to you.
office, bro. We finding out through text messages how much you asking for first, bro. Don't waste my time and none of
Right,
that.
right. I'm not. Nah.
I mean, so he's saying this is why he likes Schroeder defense. I mean, he's better. Listen, Dre. Listen. This is your biggest point always. He's better than Nelford Payton.
Say that, but that's why the bar is low.
Word.
Thank
That's a
you. This
low
is why
bar.
I never like saying that
Right.
because
But I've said that before. Like, yeah,
there's a
anything
huge
better than
difference between being
anybody we
good.
get that we name is going to be a step up over Alfred Payton.
Yeah, like you know,
Anybody we name.
like Tune always said, I'll take Ball, Larry, and
I
Dinwiddie
don't
over
want to see
Dennis.
Lowry. I think I'd vomit every game if we got Lowry.
Nah, don't you environment, Dre. Stop it. Come on.
Yeah, because he over the hill. Like, who is he that dope? Is Lowry that dope?
All right, see, look, this is my thing, guarding the Knicks.
The Jazz be crazy to give up Donovan Mitchell.
This is
That's
this
not
this is what I mean. It's I don't want to.
get crazy.
I'm not big on
Dreaming.
un
Unrealistic.
no disgruntled stars. The disgruntled star rumors and stuff. I'm not believing that. Number one, because
He was already disgruntled. He was supposed to be leaving because his boy gave him COVID. And he ain't leave then.
he's been disgruntled. Yeah, he's been disgruntled. But I mean, I'm not putting a lot of stock in a lot of those. First of all, what the Jazz would ask for him would be outrageous.
Outrageous. We wouldn't have a team
It
anymore.
would be more than what they would ask for. What Portland would ask for Lillard, because of just sheer youth. You know what I'm saying? Just off of youth, you'd be giving up.
Yo,
And he's
everything.
getting
James
contract,
Harden.
right? Like, he got years before his shit is over. Like,
Yeah, which I don't mind that. I don't mind a contract. It's just what we'd be giving up to get him. We literally have to give up RJ quickly, OB picks,
the whole squad.
everything.
James Harden said, like, this is why I hate the Nets and I hate
James Harden
the
is a
Bucks.
bum.
But it's not even about that. They set the bar for trades. So the Nets traded 8 first-round picks for James Harden, brother. If you even talk to Utah about Donovan
That's
Mitchell,
crazy.
minimum is 8 first-round picks. So
Yeah.
this is why I be telling people,
He said,
like, yo, bro, I told people
we don't even
But-
have 8 first round
The
picks.
thing is, that's what
Don't
Brooklyn
talk to me
had.
unless you got 8 first
That's
round
what Brooklyn had to offer, because Brooklyn had nothing, and all they had was
Yeah.
Karis LeVert, and they sent him to Indiana.
Let me tell you something. If we're gonna be realistic and get farther in this season for a point guard, I think Dinwiddie fits the bill. He's already in New York. He ain't got to make a whole lot of moves. He be in New York. He's 10 times better than Alfred. You know what I'm saying? He could move the ball. He's a better shooter, and
He
he's
can
still
create
plays.
off the dribble. He
He
can
can
shoot.
create off the dribble. That boy could shoot. He's clutch.
Yeah, you're not gonna lock him up in a pick and roll, and then that's it.
Right.
You know
So
what I
we
mean?
got options every night.
Yeah.
You know, RJ might be on fire one night. You know, Julius will be fire on one night till the playoffs come. You know what I'm saying?
To the
And then
playoffs.
at least you guys until the playoffs come. Now everybody, RJ looked bad in playoffs. I think everybody got nervous, which is why I wanted them to get more playoff experience so that they could. Like, I'm jealous of what the Hawks just went through. All them boys just got a whole bunch of experience.
Yeah, wait, Dre. Can we put context into that? Because I'm really jealous about them too. What the Hawks did was, and for anybody listening, if you're a Frank fan, Kevin Knox fan like me, you're going to understand where I'm coming from. What the Hawks did was they let their kids play free of mistakes, or, you know, if they make a mistake, they'll get yanked.
Just play.
They let them play. For the first 2 seasons, they let them play. Collins played, Herter played, Cam Reddish played, all of them played. Then what the Hawks did, with no trades, they added pieces, right? And those pieces still didn't play over their young picks. So I'm gonna give you an example, Dre. In the playoffs, I watched Nate McMillan make multiple adjustments, and he played Cam Reddish, he played DeAndre Hunter, he played Herter, multiple young guys. He played Okongwu. So if Thibodeau was coaching that team,
he wouldn't have had none of them cats playing.
thank you. And Thibodeau the type, he would have played Tony Snell. And I think I said this to Apollo. He would have played Tony Snell over Cam Reddish. If I'm lying, I'm dying. I'm flying. He would have played Tony Snell over.
Like, yo, he dead and he flying. Look.
He would have.
And watching them and watching their growth was beautiful to me. I had to watch Alfred Payton steal minutes for 2 years straight. I watched Wayne Ellington brick after brick while not on the bench.
That's my issue with. We talked about this after we lost. Was how it looked like he didn't adjust.
He didn't.
He didn't adjust. Like he made one adjustment, which was like the worst adjustment you can make in the playoffs, and you bench your starting point guard all of a sudden and didn't give him any minutes. Like,
Dre, can you put that in context, please? Because I want people to understand like why you said that.
Well, as far as Alfred getting benched.
Yeah, as far as him taking Alfred at that moment in time.
He took Alfred in the playoffs after we already started. It was like game 1, we lost by like a point or two. Game 2 was like, yo, we switching it. D Rose is starting, and then we're not even putting him back in there. Like we're not even putting Alfred in there to start the second half. Nothing. It's all on D Rose. And D Rose did his thing. He got tired and he stopped performing. Like that last game, he was out of gas.
Which is why, they asked him to start for 2 games, and he was like,
right. The first time in the play, because then he had the COVID thing. He didn't even play like the whole regular season like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we talked about Sexton. I don't think he's the type of point guard we need. But again, anybody's better than Alfred Payton.
I don't want to fall into that, because if a bad team is looking to get rid of a point guard, that's
right.
That's
I
scary.
think they're trying to move. I
strongly disagree.
There's nothing wrong with Sexton.
No. I'm not saying blaming him.
No, but they probably just want to go in another direction. Is what I'm.
But my thing is for you to be a starting point guard, and there's so many other things. They're just a poorly run franchise. You see the Kevin Porter Jr. thing.
Yes, dude leaves and scores 50. Come on now.
Come on, bro.
Come on.
Just a poorly run franchise, and that's what I'm saying. If you do get a guy like Colin Sexton, take a chance, and but don't trade a lot for him. Don't trade a lot for him.
Yo, that's my number one option. Yo, that's my number one.
They wouldn't trade a lot.
That can't be my number one option though. There are things that scare me about Colin. He is the attitude, the drive. I love it.
Explain your issues with him.
It's the tunnel vision.
Now stop right there. You said tunnel vision. I just watched Alfred Payton for the last 2 years.
Listen.
Hold on.
The bar is too low. Don't bring up Alfred Payton though. This bar is too low.
I apologize. Sexton, when Garland was hurt, averaged 6.6 assists. If you're gonna sit here, Apollo, and tell me that Sexton has to pass the D Wade, come on now.
Look. We're gonna talk about assists. We're gonna get real deep. You're gonna get real deep. I want you to take this ride with me. Russell Westbrook gets 10 assists a game, 3 seasons in a row.
Right.
But he can't get out the first round of the playoffs. Tell me how that happens.
Really, we gotta slander Russ?
I'm not slandering him. I'm talking about the style of play. Style of play at the point guard position.
So I've always been Russell Westbrook archetype is kind of different from Colin Sexton.
No. I'm talking about the type of assists, that they get. Now, I'm saying him getting the 6.6 assists. It wasn't him coming out there like Chris Paul.
No.
You know what I'm saying? It was the type of assist you were getting, the Westbrook assists. Oh, I'm getting there. I'm gonna go all the way. They know I'm gonna go to the basket. They're gonna send 2-3 people at me. Boom, easy wraparound. You know what I'm saying? Those assists are a little bit different because if you're not aggressive, you can't get those assists. That's what I'm saying.
So I agree with you, but where I disagree is we gotta drill sergeant as a coach. So I believe Sexton would buy in. Also, I believe that like when you got a guy like RJ and you got a guy like Randall, they will look at a guy like Sexton and be like, yo, I could go to war with him.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I love Sexton as a player. as a player. You know what I'm saying? I'm just worried about the team and the
So
fit with the team. That's all I'm worried about.
listen, Sexton my number one get this off season because it's really for Julius Randle, not more so than RJ Barrett. Because Randle, he looks like a guy who's only gonna respect a dog. And
For sure.
Lonzo, even though I like Lonzo's game, the one time Tibbs had a Lonzo type point guard was Ricky Rubio. Hold on.
And he
And
got
he
him the
traded
fuck
Ricky Rubio. He traded him and he got Jeff Teague. Jeff Teague fits the archetype of Colin Sexton.
This is why I don't know about the Lonzo thing, because he's not a Thibodeau guard. Nothing about Lonzo screams Thibodeau.
Nothing. And I firmly agree. And
Nothing about Lonzo
Maybe
screams
we need a
Thibodeau.
coaching change around here. Maybe that's what we need.
You see what the last coaching change
Maybe
did?
we
They
need
went
a
from a
coaching
21 win team to a 41 win team. So
yes, and
maybe we need Anthony Hardaway around here.
yeah, right.
yeah, right.
Maybe he'll
Or
leave
Chauncey
the college
Billups.
squad and he'll come
Yo,
coach for the Knicks.
You want to know what's so crazy, fellas? We talking about this point guard spot.
I'm telling you, moving forward, we're gonna be complaining about Tibbs in the future. We already are.
No. I'm already starting that train up, brother.
Right.
I'm out on Tibbs already.
We already gonna be complaining about him. No matter who we get, we're gonna be complaining.
Who you
Tibbs?
think it's over with Tibbs? Y'all don't like Tibbs?
I'm not saying it's over. I just
I'm
think
done
that
with Tibbs, bro.
depending on who we get, the kind of like I feel like if we get Dinwiddie, I think he gonna fit. I think we got a tall. If we get him, we get a tall point guard who could create, who could score. I think Tibbs will love him. He's gonna run him into the ground. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I don't want him.
There's just gonna be some things where he's just not gonna bend. He's gonna be a real bullheaded about how he runs this team. But it all depends on how the team performs. I definitely think we could go farther with a point guard. If that was the only thing we changed around here, we go farther. Even if we kept bum ass Reggie Bullock at the 3.
No.
But
no,
yeah, God,
no.
Jesus, I know.
I'd rather my father play
Listen,
the 3 than Reggie
I'm
Bullock.
gonna give.
You can put me in there at the 3.
Stop it.
Jesus, I'll be getting let me get a couple warm ups.
You crazy. As long as y'all give me about 2-3 knee braces, I'll be out there. Yo.
Apollo, can you put this?
You need
this
the
last comment up,
bionic
please?
knees out there with that
Yeah,
shit.
chill. You going crazy. Don't do that. You said what?
Can you put this last comment up with guarding the Knicks? He said Tibbs is going to be here for a while. So I could make a bet. I will bet a check that Thibodeau won't be here when RJ Barrett is in his prime. So when RJ Barrett reaches about 25, 26 years old, do y'all dudes really think players want to come play for Thibodeau?
Number one, though. You got. I do want you to take into account how long is Thibodeau's contract?
5 years.
5 years, right? This is year 1, so that means it's 4 more years.
63. He's 63.
4 more years. Now, 4 more years. RJ would be 25.
25. Yes.
25 years old. Now, do I think Thibodeau will be here when RJ's 25? I'm not going to say a resounding no, but I don't think that especially if my concerns with Tibbs, which only happen to be around the offense and the rotation. The offense, the wrinkles, a little bit more wrinkles to the offense. I want to see more, sets, more plays, a little bit, just simple things. You know what I mean? But that we probably didn't see it because we didn't have the personnel for it, hopefully. But that is one concern, and the rotations is another concern. Outside of that, I'm cool on Tibbs. So I do think he can last his entire contract. Re-signing that contract, I'm not sure. And it also depends on what we do. If we, for 4 of the next 4 years, are a playoff team, he's not going anywhere.
Bro, so put it in context. If he gets put out the first round next year, I promise you, it's going to be stories about his job security.
It depends on the team. It depends on the team.
I think it depends.
It depends on the team that we have if he gets put out the first year. Now, if you give him a team that has a legit star, say we come back and somehow we do get we show up the point guard position and somehow get a star on top of that, and then we get booted out the first round, oh, of course he's on the hot seat. You know what I'm saying? But how likely is that? You know, as much as the trades we've been throwing around this offseason, the chances of us showing up the point guard position and getting a star that's going to take us there is not high. I think one of the other can happen, but to do both in one offseason, I don't think it's going to happen right away. So I'm not going to blame Tibbs if next year we get incrementally better, but then we still lose in the first round. Especially, it depends on how we lose in the first round. We lose in the first round in 7 games, and it was a tough series, and it was just one thing missing. You know what I'm saying? That's different. But to not to go out anything like we did this year, looking like we were just completely the worst team on the floor, nah, that can't happen. Then then he's on the hot seat. But I think Tibbs is the kind of guy that looks like he gets better every year with the kind of depending on what you bring him, especially. But I mean, like I
So,
said,
bro.
my concerns are with the offensive wrinkles. I want to see some pick and rolls. I want to see more sets for playmaking sets. You know what I mean? He does bring a nice play here or there, but I do want to see more offensively from him, because I'm not going to blame all of the freezing out on Julius Randle. I do think there should have been more plays to help Julius be a better off-ball player, which I think tied into the issue. They knew you can't double team someone if he doesn't have the ball. So I think you should just find some plays for the guy without the ball. You know what I mean? If certain coaches can do those things. And this is why I'm not going to blame Julius Randle too much, but it's too like I said, too many nuances into what happened in the playoffs with Julius Randle. And I'm
And,
not going to blame Tibbs, but I'm definitely not going to lift no responsibility off of Julius Randle.
so we could put it like this, right? We could give Randall a pass for the playoffs. Yeah, we could give him a pass for the playoffs.
Can't
Yes,
give him a pass,
but
but
we kind of can't.
I'm gonna give him a warning.
I'm gonna be objective real quick because I always kill Randall, but I'm gonna be objective real quick. I want to see if I can protect him real quick because he is a playoff virgin. This was his first playoffs appearance,
Right?
but at the same time, Thibodeau, I think he has 4 straight first round playoff exits, including this year's. 4 straight, I believe it is. He's not a playoff virgin. So if Randall, and supposedly this is what I heard, I read articles about this, and Ian Bagley, I believe it was on Ian Bagley's show, but Randall went to Tibbs during the playoffs,
Yeah.
and he asked Tibbs to adjust. And you know what Tibbs did? The same goddamn things the next game, and we lost again. So Thibodeau will have to be the main person to adjust his ways. And the offense, I don't know if y'all noticed this, but when Mike Woodson left, I felt like the offense was more stagnant. I don't know. Maybe I might be bugging, but it just looked a little more stagnant to me, in my opinion.
But I thought he was the coach for like defense. I didn't think that he was like the X's and O's on the offensive side of the ball type of guru.
Well, see, this is why Tibbs is the kind of coach. If you have, okay, he's a great coach of culture of talents, is what I'm saying. He can go
Yes.
out there and coach what he has
Yes.
based off of what each player can give you. Great guy doing that. But he's not the Steve Kerr's going to come in and say, all right, now I want you over here. And at this set, you're going to come around the screen and then do this and this, and that. I'm not going to say that Tibbs isn't good at that, but he's not elite at that. And I think that's what shows because, you have guys like, if you put Kevin Durant, no, put Tom Thibodeau as the coach of the Brooklyn Nets, and I guarantee you that, bearing health, that they're not out right now. Then they're definitely in the finals.
No,
Because
they're
in my
not
opinion,
because all their players will be hurt. Because Thibodeau run them
well,
into
not
the
like
ground.
I said, it's bearing the the staff that he has and the injuries that Kyrie, which we heard that the Nets weren't too happy about, but Kyrie and Katie and even Harden, had that. No one can really be successful with all of those injuries. So we'll see if they can be healthy next year. We'll see what happens with that. But like I'm saying, if Tibbs was coaching a team like that, I think he would have that. He's the kind of coach that can coach a team like that because he's more the guy that can coach the talent that you have and bring the best out of it. You know what I mean? Make you a better defensive team. That's one thing he would have did is made them a better defensive team for sure. And that's one thing that they weren't doing well. So,
Oh,
but go ahead.
real quick, defense will get you. Today's NBA is funny. Defense gets you but so far. At some point, you're going to need one-on-one ISO scorers. At some point, that's just me.
That's what we got Julius Randle for.
ISO scores?
Oh, I hear somebody talking. I don't know where it's coming from.
Nah, that's me. You okay though?
Yeah. Okay, sorry about that.
Nah, you good, man. But Julius Randle is a third option, fellas. Like I think we've Apollo. When I said that months ago, Twitter killed me. They called me stupid.
What you said?
They said I was hating. I basically said Julius Randle's a third or fourth option. Maybe it was the fourth option that got people really mad with me. But I say he was the championship third or fourth option. And I said, yo, we got to get two guys in here or three who gets the ball before Randle. Right. And you watch the playoffs. We all seen what the Bucks did with Giannis in the playoffs. Giannis is off ball now. Yeah. You know, he only brings up the ball off of rebounds. They don't run no offense through him.
No dude that big should be getting the rock.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's easier to play against that in a half court set, and that's kind of like, you know, this era that we're in now. That's kind of why a lot of these players that we believe should be in the finals right now or should be further aren't there because a lot of their games don't translate well to the playoffs. They just don't. Even Giannis, his game doesn't translate extremely well to the playoffs. I mean, he's a demigod in terms of his size and height and abilities, you know. But I mean, it's there's so many ways you can stop him. But you know, one way around it is making sure that he doesn't utilize one of his strengths, and that's bringing the ball up. You know what I'm saying? You can't have him bringing the ball up like that because it's easier to guard against a guy like that. Same thing with Julius Randle. You got him bringing up the ball. All right, boom. We already know what we're gonna do. We're gonna throw the double at him right away. We're gonna blitz him, and he's gonna pick the ball up. And then wherever he throws it to, either we're gonna get a turnover or that person's not gonna be able to create. They're gonna look for someone else to pass it to, and then boom, it's gonna trickle down effect just like that. You know, but that's neither here nor there. I don't really want to hammer on Randle too much because he will probably still be here next year, and you know we love our guys. Hopefully we can show up this team a little bit better. We can get some more. We're not gonna draft 3-4 players this year, and they're not gonna play. No. It's not happening. I say at most we're drafting one, and if we draft more than one, that other guy will probably be a trade piece.
Situational.
Yeah, situational player. And you know, I think we'll have to see. You know what happens. You know what more news comes out in the offseason, but at least we do know that they're looking for scorers, especially in the draft, that need to can go out there and get a bucket, which is what we need. That's something that Trey Mann is one of those guys. We'll talk about at some certain point, and a lot of the draft guys that we like. James Bouknight, of course, but we have to make some kind of trade to get up there to get him. But guys that are what's the guy, Chris Duarte and Trey Mann, guys like that who can get a shot off in mid range, pull up, crossover, jump shot, and confident. Those are the kind of guys that I think that we would be able to get at the position that we're at, or even if we packaged 19 and 21 and got to like 14 or something like that. What were you gonna say, State?
Nah, you said shit. You said everything I was about to say. Just the only thing I was gonna say was I'm praying and hoping that we trade up, bro. Like I'm not really interested in us bringing 3 picks and then next season we over here like, yo man, why James Johnson playing over James Bouknight, man? What's going on? Like I don't.
Oh, that was that kid's name, Bouknight. They said they was gonna trade up for.
Yeah,
James Bouknight's from Brooklyn.
So basically, Bouknight and Scotty Barnes. Those are the two that I would Absolutely. If the Knicks got really Scotty Barnes, I think I'm gonna jump out my seat because that's who I would love for them to trade up for. But the only way I think I could see the Knicks trading up, Apollo, honestly, we're gonna have to take on a disgusting contract. And the only contract I would take on that's a bad contract is
Kevin Love.
Andrew Wiggins. It's no way Cleveland is trading Kevin Love and the third pick. You gonna say they'll trade Kevin Love and Sexton?
Don't they have another more than one pick in the lottery?
No, that is
No,
that's Orlando.
Orlando, right?
That's Orlando.
I don't know.
Orlando's
Man.
another team. Yeah, Orlando got now. Think of this, right? Orlando got the 5th and the 8th pick. I want nothing to do with the 8th pick. Frederick Weiss, Frank, who we got? Obi. I'm good with the 8th pick. But Orlando has Markelle Fultz, Cole Anthony, R.J. Hampton, Jonathan Isaac, Mo Bamba, Wendell Carter Jr.
And they still ain't going nowhere.
I don't know, bro. Yeah, that team is. That's why they're gonna keep all their picks, though. You know what I mean? They don't have a direction at this point. They no one wants to come there. Number one, no one wants to come there.
What y'all not talking about though is the Nets are still upset with Kyrie, and we might still get him.
Nah, I'm good.
I'm not going there.
We might still get Kyrie.
That is one conversation I'm not gonna have.
Why y'all acting like they ain't gonna be happy we get Kyrie if the Knicks?
Nah. We can't have that. Nah.
Nope.
Nope.
Why y'all acting like that? We might get Kyrie over here.
Nah. Sorry.
Get who?
We've been saying that.
Kyrie would retire if he was traded to the Knicks.
Wow.
He would retire. Promise you,
he'd be the most disgruntled player ever.
For sure. Let me see. Who was it that was asking? Gardner Knicks. When is the summer league start? Summer league starts. I think it says August 8th. What does it say over here? August 8th to 17th.
Oh, summer league gonna be dope.
Next
If
month.
we drive 2 people, our summer league team, they better win the chip.
Listen, first of all, if Obi and Quickly is still here, it's gonna be real scary. It's gonna be real scary.
Wife come through with the cookies and cream, ice cream, the chocolate chip cookies. Yeah.
Listen, that's love right there, man. That's love right there.
Well, thank you, baby. You don't be playing.
I would text my wife to bring me some of that. My phone is sitting in rice right now.
Oh yeah.
My phone is sitting in rice.
Come get it yourself.
She's like, come get it yourself. But yeah, summer league is August 8th to the 17th. Like I said, if Quickly and Obi are there, depending on who we draft with them, if we bring in a guy like Trey Mann,
I'm high on Obi after that playoff series. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Season we wasn't checking for him, but in the playoffs, that boy turned up. Like that's the kind of players we need when the playoffs come.
Yo, Dre, just to piggyback off what you just said, you see how Obi couldn't produce when it was 2K fans in the stands, but he could produce when it was 15K. And I always
the crowd, right? That boy he loved that crowd.
Obi is a guy who he needs a crowd. Obi needs a crowd because the crowd, he's an energy player. You know what I'm saying? Like those type of guys, they need to play in packed arenas for them to really, all right, now I could get up for this game.
Right.
On a low too. He was flying all over. You look up Obi in the air. I was like, oh snap.
Nah, he had that energy all series long. It didn't matter what was going on.
Yo, that boy was looking good. He was making Randall look bad.
Bro, especially because he can, off ball, set a pick and roll. Man, like that is what scares me. The fact that you couldn't even bring me that.
You know what I
bring me no pick and roll, bro?
This is what I don't like about Julius Randle. Playing that position, being the number one. The one thing that annoys the shit out of me about his game is that he brings the ball up so nonchalantly a lot of times. He's like dribbling like the dude ain't gonna take it from him. He's so confident in himself that he's an athlete and he's a good player. He's just coming up slow, running slow, and they take it. He's always like, it's like, dude, what you think dude just trying to do?
He's
They
not.
gonna
He's not
stand there and
because
just
he's
let
not
you rock.
seeing. Yeah, he's not
He going
seeing.
slow, and he's like, he got it. He's doing all this. He's bringing the ball up. He's spoiled now. Now y'all spoiled him. Y'all let him bring the rock up. He don't get in position, get in the paint, and squeeze it. Body this dude down here and get and scream for the ball. Get it in the paint. Start from there. You know what I mean? He can shoot threes here and there. I like the way he's shooting threes. He knock him down. But that boy bringing the ball up, going slow. He's so not, and that was the whole thing the first season with the spinning moves. You
Right.
feel like he a guard or something.
Right.
But like you said, Cap, set these screens and let's go with it. He could have grabbed
Pick and
man.
roll.
Yo, that's what like you get somebody like CP3, he'd be like, no. You're gonna score 20 off these alley oops tonight. Like that's how we gonna get it.
Get out the paint.
So this is my thing: is Julius Randle the kind of guy who can set picks and roll and catch alley oops? No,
I think
he's
he
not
need
the
to
kind of
be
guy.
he need to be coached to do that. That's what I think.
See, he
That's
can't
the
be coached.
playbook. It's the
He can't
playbook,
be
Cap.
coached. He can't be coached to sit run. Yo, bro, you're 20-something years old. You should know how to run a pick and roll, bro.
You should.
Well,
We shouldn't have to teach you how to run a pick and roll and catch alley oop.
Yeah, but that's the play. If they're not saying run the pick and roll, but that should be an option, like you said. That should be an option no matter what. He should be running that shit.
I just don't see Julius Randle coming up and set a pick, and then it's like, oh, I'm lobbing it up to Julius Randle.
Nah, he's trying to stay back so he can knock down the three.
Facts.
Or he's gonna catch it mid range and do the jab move and then do his move to get to the basket.
I
He's
don't
not
want him
gonna
doing
go
that
up,
no more.
and he's not the guy gonna go over you to catch it and dunk it. That's
I was gonna
what I
say
mean.
he don't be dunking on nobody like that either.
Nah, he dunked on a couple people this year.
No. He dunked on a couple people this
He
year.
dunked on Embiid.
He's sneakily gonna do it to you
I mean, you
because
gonna
he's
get those.
strong. He's strong. But I mean, in terms of a high flyer kind of catching the ball out there and yamming it in, nah, he's not doing none of that. But I mean, listen, I'm not going to trash Julius Randle too much. I appreciate what he did. We wouldn't have been where we was this season if it wasn't for him. We wouldn't have got to the 4th seed to see what he really was if it
You're
wasn't
right.
for him. But like I said, when it happened, I'm glad it happened the way it did, because if we didn't make the playoffs, we would have thought Julius Randle was the guy. The way the season ended, Julius Randle was the guy. And just a few weeks after that, we saw why he was not the guy. So I think it happened for a reason. That's why people say, oh, is it better for you to actually go to the playoffs and lose in the first round, or is it better for you to actually go to the lottery and get a good player? I think if you go to the playoffs, you see what you really have in those situations. You see that you can't go to the playoffs with Julius Randle as your best player. You see that you can't go to the playoffs with Reggie Bullock as your starting 3. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just things in Alfred Payton as your starting 1. Like, these are things that you can see only by going to the playoffs. So the only way you're going to see if these things work out and what the real true value of these guys are.
I like that perspective. Let me be a little objective though.
Mm-hmm.
So for the people who say we got a Mickey Mouse 4th seed, you know, everything you said was right. You know, going to the playoffs and understanding what we got. But something just about Jalen Suggs and him as my starting point guard, just compared to us looking at
New York need a like a marquee point guard. Like we need to step in there with like a point guard that you worry about every night.
But so what do you say to those people, Apollo, that you know, from what I've just said, you know?
My thing with that take is I completely understand it. We need a point guard badly. And there's a few guys at the point guard position, Cade Cunningham, Jalen Suggs, that even Davion Mitchell, he's too small. We're gonna keep it at the top 2. You know, Jalen Suggs and Cade Cunningham. There was no guarantee that we would get high enough to get those picks, man. Especially with this team, there's no guarantee that we would have fell to the top 2 in the draft, top 3. It's not. I just don't think that would have happened. Number one, and this is the thing that I do appreciate about RJ Barrett. He wasn't going to be bad enough to make us that, you know what I mean, that team again. He wasn't going to come in. Like I said, if Julius Randle wasn't here this year, RJ Barrett probably would have averaged more points strictly off of having the ball in his hand
Yeah,
more often.
yeah.
And we wouldn't, we would not have been a playoff team. Guarantee we would not have been a playoff team. But we definitely wouldn't have been bad enough to be the worst
I
team in the league.
disagree. I disagree with
You
you
think we
only
would have been the worst team
because
in the league?
no, we wouldn't have been the worst team in the league. But at that time, right, Derrick Rose, when we made that Derrick Rose trade, we
Wouldn't
was
have
two
happened.
games.
We wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't have happened if we wasn't on the way to what we was doing. That's
Yo,
what I'm
we would
saying.
have got
true.
Derrick Rose no matter what.
That could be true too.
We would have got Derrick Rose no matter what.
Yeah,
what
true.
you gotta understand, Apollo, is we would have never made the playoffs without that Derrick Rose trade. And then on top of the fact that Alfred Payton would have stayed the starter, so we would have never been on a 9-game win streak in hindsight. You get what I'm saying? So we would have been somewhere around in the lottery. Now, do the 6 or 7 picks sound good right now? I mean, Colin Sexton was picked 1 pick before Kevin Knox, so I'm still a little tight about that. But having 19 and 21 in an offseason where there's no franchise players in the free agent market, like none. There's no franchise players until 2025. I looked at every single free agent.
Ain't nobody picking him up.
Unless guys opt out.
Unless who's gonna opt out, Paulo, within the next 3-4 years?
You don't know. It depends on success of the team. That's what I'm saying. We don't know. We can't project these things. Front office moves. You know what happened with the Porzingis in the front office. That kind of thing can happen anywhere.
Dude, it's only one person I think that would happen for.
Luka?
And I think it's Zion Williamson.
Oh yeah, for sure, Zion.
But
gonna
do Zion have the cojones Porzingis has? That
I think he wouldn't care as much because that's not a big market team. That's just my opinion.
That's tough. I just don't see Porzingis was a different type of cat. I don't see a player, and I know I mentioned this to you before, Apollo, where I'm gonna call it the Porzingis move. I'm gonna dub it. I'm gonna name it the Porzingis move, where a player gets moved in his rookie during his rookie scale deal, and he's an all-star during his rookie scale deal. That is really rare, Apollo. I don't see it happening. They made the rule. They made the unrestricted and restricted free agency just so stuff like this would have happened. Remember how Shaq got to the Lakers in 1996?
Right? Yeah.
So I don't know. That's tough. But if World Wide West and them get wind of that, I don't know, man.
Honestly, man, I feel like these guys are gonna do something special. I think if it's not a big splash, it's gonna be really smart moves. I think that these guys are calculated. I like the guys who are scouting the squad. These people out here, I think they're really smart. I think these scouts are really good. I think they're getting this information. They're collecting data.
Right.
I really hope that they really pull off some of the moves. I think that with the season we just had, I think any free agent would consider coming to New York now with the front office. If they sit down and have meetings with this front office, they're gonna be like, "Oh, all right, you know what?
Right.
These dudes out here in New York is for real. This is what they're really trying to accomplish." One of the top defenders in the league. That's why I feel like any point guard we get, even if we're not looking at it like they're better than Alfred, that they're like, yo, this squad plays defense. We always in the game. Always.
Yeah.
So I think that I'm confident that the Knicks are actually going to do something smart this offseason because we got different people in the front office running it.
Yeah, me too, man. I think they're not gonna make any rash moves. Like I said, if a lot of the stuff that we thought of today was clearly tossed around in a lot of those conversations across the table in their office. So I'm confident in their ability to actually make a smart move and not just risk everything. I know they don't want to come in here and just start throwing away draft picks and stuff. I trust guys like Walt Perrin, just brilliant with the contracts and drafting and scouting. I think that, like I said, these guys have chemistry. They've worked with each other for like 20 plus years, a lot of these guys, and I think that'll bode well for free agency and off season and just chemistry as well, and even with time, you know what I mean. But that's all I got. I don't want to add too much to it. We've been here for a long time. It's 11:46. Good Lord. And that's it. Any other points you guys got?
No, man. I think I ended with my point, Paul. You know how it's going.
Word.
Boys are gonna look. It's gonna look good. I think no matter what's gonna happen, I think the Knicks are gonna be an exciting team to watch.
For sure.
I just can't wait for the summer league. I can't wait to see that. I can't wait to see what we do draft night if we trade up, if not. I'm just looking forward to them off season moves.
All right. Well, I mean, State, you got something else you want to add in at the end?
I'm with Dre on this one. I don't know what it is.
So I'm going
I don't know, Apollo. But the Knicks is. I'm gonna wake up one summer day, and the Knicks is gonna do a move that I love so much that that's an instant classic on Twitter. And I'm gonna liquor store. I'm gonna get the biggest Henny bottle I've ever seen. I feel like they're gonna do a special move, a smart move, and I just can't wait. You know, Steve Mills ain't here, so we good.
Yeah, he's out there. Good riddance.
Word, no more Tim Hardaway moves.
Word, yeah, no more Tim. Lord, please, Lord. Shout out to the chat. Thank y'all for being in here. If you are still in here, please hit that like, subscribe. You know what I mean? Let everybody know about the show. Shout out to God on the Knicks podcast, showing some love. Of course, man. Thank you for watching and sitting here with us and just kicking a little freestyle. That's what I call it. But like we always say, until next time, I don't really have on anything else. Any what I'm gonna say, moves or trades or reports come out, we'll be back, and that'll be it for tonight. You guys have a good one. Till next time, y'all.
Appreciate y'all, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
No doubt.
Take it easy, baby.
Yes, sir.
Yo, y'all too, man.
All right, man. Peace.